Welcome to the WiseTake DFS podcast. I am your host, CK013. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I'm joined once again by D-Tech Nation, aka Paulie D. You can find him on Twitter at Paulie D. That's 8 D's. Paulie, what's happening, brother?
Not too much, man. How's your night going?
It's okay, man. I mean, it's not great. Newcomb was exciting. I wrote him up in the article. He's exciting, but nothing really to brag about. What about you, man? How's the heater going?
You know, tonight's gonna really prove if it's a real heater or not. That Chris Young homer just got me like on the brink of the cash line in that 666 man, and I got the bottom of the eighth. Red Sox coming up here, so I need a little more action from Young and Bogarts, and I got Grichuk going. Basically, one of those guys' homers I'll be in. So probably got one more at bat apiece. Hopefully, Chris Young doesn't get pitch hit for, and just need like 9 more points to be comfortably in the money. So we'll see if it's a real heater tonight.
All right, I like it, man. We'll find out.
Cool.
So let me ask you a question. You went with Scherzer. Did you end up going with Scherzer? Is that what you said?
I did go with Scherzer. You know, I thought he was going to be lower owned than he ended up being. And I think in lower stakes, he was like 25-30, but in the higher stakes one, he was 44%. Like the moment I saw that, I was just devastated because I so rarely pay up for the top pitcher. But, you know, like there was a lot of good pitchers on the slate today that I thought could match him. I just thought, like, in the situation with playing against the Cubs, that rivalry, I thought he was really going to show up and put like a 75 on the board. And the Cubs lineup wasn't anything to be too scared of. So I decided to go. And there was enough value. Like, I loved my lineup. You know,
like,
there was enough value out there. Like, you know, the guys that are winning right now stack the entire Reds-Milwaukee game. You know? So, you know, it just worked. But I was really disappointed when I saw the ownership.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally, and that was the thing too. In the article that I wrote, I said the same thing about Scherzer. I wrote him up, and I said, you know, the reason I never pay up at pitcher in tournaments. Like I never do this. If there's a top option, I always try to go low just to get a contrarian lineup build. But I was saying that I don't think Scherzer's going to be as popular as he should be because there are so many good options. And I was wrong, man. He was very popular.
Yeah, he was very popular.
And it made sense because there were so many cheaper stacks, at least on FanDuel, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, Milwaukee and the Reds right there. They were all like Billy Hamilton was 2.9, Votto was only 3. I mean, not Votto, Votto was expensive, but Duvall, he was only 3.2.
Yep.
You know, the whole Brewers team was pretty cheap.
Yep. Yeah. So, you know, when that happens, it's just like when it's easy to make a lineup with them, why wouldn't you? You know, so that's
exactly.
something I should have been more on. But, you know, I thought like the Yankees were going to get some more ownership against the lefty. I thought the Red Sox would be higher owned. So, like, I thought, you know, like the Dodgers, you know, Clay Bellinger's so expensive. It's hard to play him with a good pitcher. But, you know, I guess everyone just, you know, went the Scherzer route and built all the value.
Yeah, well, Bellinger is like, I think, 8% owned, the $25 single entry on FanDuel. So that tells you, you're right. People made a choice. They decided to pay up for Scherzer. That was the choice they made. And, you know, I kind of see it with like Thames at like 3-1. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like in
Cincinnati. He was 28% owned in my tournaments, and he busted today too.
Yeah, he did. I figured as much. You know, it's funny because I was talking to you about the lineup I had earlier, and like all the guys that I mentioned to you, you wrote up the Reds. All three of us wrote up the Reds. You, me, and Joe. We were all over the Reds today. And like I had the lineup I had in there, and then like you guys looked at it, you're like, yeah, it looks great. And then you must be doing well. And actually, no, I ended up taking out Votto and and Billy Hamilton.
That's the worst, man.
Yeah, man. That's it. Yeah, second guessing.
Flops that kill you.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you're sitting there thinking with your lineup, and you know you shouldn't be, but you can't help it. You just
I know.
Flip flop, and then at that point you've taken yourself from like a 70-75% chance of doing well to like a 50, because now you're just like you don't even know which one you're gonna stick with. Like you're going back and forth. Now it's like whichever one you run out of time with when you click save. It's like that's the one you're going with.
Yep, exactly.
Oh man. So we got a pretty good slate here. It's another decent size, not as big. What's it, 13 games or something like that? I think it's like
13 games. Yeah, there's 2 day games, so
right.
I like that. 15 is a little too large, and
Yeah,
I planned to play small, and then they put out that 100 man, $666 tournament, and I just like love that kind of size, so I jumped in it. But 15 game slates like tonight, there was so many like teams I liked for bats, so many arms I liked. It's like how do you pick them all? How
hard
do
to
you,
narrow it down.
how do you like narrow it down?
It's tough. It's very 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 tough to actually make those decisions, man.
Yeah.
For sure. And most importantly, it's like even though you kind of like it's almost like in a sense it's kind of harder to locate the chalk because there's so many guys out there. That means that there's so many different options, and there may not be a true chalk. So it's like when there's a smaller slate, it's usually like when there's like like 8, 9, 10 games, it's so much easier to kind of narrow it down. Okay, this team
Yep.
and this team and that pitcher, that's the chalk.
Yep.
But like on a
Yeah. For
15
sure.
game slate, you don't know. There's too many options. You don't know.
Yep. Yeah. Ownership's usually not a thing on a slate that big.
Yeah, because it's like good luck trying. There's 15 games and everybody's in good spots, so good luck. It's like,
Yep.
also real quick. So obviously we mentioned the articles that we've been posting, which is awesome. Kind of snuck those up.
Mm-hmm.
We've been starting to get some emails. I know people have been going to the site wisetake.com. It's under construction, so I just want to let you guys know if you're visiting pages and they're blank or things aren't loading, everything that's up there is up there currently for free. We haven't rolled out any of our premium plans or anything like that. We are going to be doing a bunch of stuff, live videos before lock. We're going to be doing for that for premium members. So the podcast will always stay free. I just want to make that clear to everybody who's watching. This show is always going to be there for the public to watch for free. But I just wanted to answer because I know we've been getting some tweets, emails, things like that about what's going on. So, we'll give more details as we come closer to that point. And that's all I wanted to say for now. So, in the meantime, all the stuff that's up there is completely free for now. So go up there and enjoy it, and until it's not. So, right?
Take advantage.
Yeah, take advantage, man. We got the pitching model up there. You're going to see Paulie D's article up there, Patio Joe's cash game article, and of course, I'm going to switch mine to a full-on pitchers report because I just like pitchers, man.
Dude, pitch is the name of the game in
Yeah,
FanDuel baseball. Like if you get your pitcher right, that you're in a good spot. If you get your
yeah,
pitcher wrong, you're done.
that's true. That's true.
Unless you're Ganondorf and you take
Oh
down a
yeah,
tournament with
yeah,
a
you
zero.
can afford a zero from your pitcher. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. All right, man. So let's dive right in here, and we're gonna try the whole. We're not gonna go position by position. This is what we're gonna do. We're format we've been messing with. I appreciate the feedback, guys. We're gonna give it another shot. Try to tweak it. We got like mixed reviews. Some people like the other format better. Some people liked the fact that we were trying something different, and some people like that format. So what we're gonna do here. We're gonna talk about the pitchers. We're gonna talk about pitchers that we like, pitchers we want to target, which will correlate into the stacks we like, and then from there we're gonna talk about some of the one-offs, some guys that we don't necessarily have to stack the whole team with, but guys that we think are just solid one-off positions, more of the positional, so to speak. So with that said, Paulie, let's start with some pitchers here, man. We got Steven Strasburg, Yu Darvish, Chase Anderson against Cincinnati. Those are all the on FanDuel anyway, the higher price guys, the guys 9K and above. Any of these guys
Uh-huh.
do anything for you?
I got like when I do my pitchers research, I have pitchers I like and pitchers I want to attack list. And right now, Strasburg's in the middle with a question mark. I'm not sure. Like his last like 3 starts, he's gotten tagged up, and I'm not sure if that's a fluke or if it's something that is going to continue because he's pitching through an injury or something's wrong with him. So check tomorrow. Check my article. I'll leave a note. I promise I'll do that about my full opinion on Strasburg. I do not know right now. And the other 2 guys, that was what, you Darvish and
Chase Anderson.
Chase Anderson. Those other 2 guys are a no. I think Cleveland's a little too hot to go with you Darvish and Chase Anderson against Cincinnati in that ballpark. I just want no part of that.
Yeah, man, I'm totally with you. I'm with you completely on Strasburg, man. I don't really know what to think here. We saw Gio do well against his Cubs, right? He had a good game. Then
Hmm.
we had Scherzer tonight who didn't do so well. So
Well,
now,
he did well. He just didn't
right,
do,
he wasn't
sure,
dominant.
he wasn't worth his price.
Yeah,
But he only gave up 1 run. He struck out about 6 guys. He
right,
took
right.
him
No,
out
no, no.
after
Of
96
course, but
pitches.
but when we're talking about Scherzer and we're talking about fantasy sports, we're looking for strikeouts. So
Yep,
like
yep.
he didn't give us that. Like Gio had just as many, or I think Gio had more strikeouts than Scherzer did. And
Yeah, I
it's
think
like
you're right.
Right? It's like, whoa. So now we got Strasburg, who's been getting tagged a little bit lately. And
Yeah.
it's like, now it's like, what do we do? It's like, so I'm with you there. I don't know what to do with Strasburg.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, if it's vintage Strasburg, I like him against the Cubs in that
right,
lineup right now. But I'm gonna dig in. I'm gonna take a look. Is his velocity down? Like what's the cause of this?
right.
And we'll see. But right now I'm leaning towards no. Like I don't want to pay, for the highest price pitcher at 10 plus for someone that's just not that's a question mark. Like I want a guy I know is gonna be dominant. So it's probably leaning towards no.
Yeah. No, no, no. I think I'm with you there too. And I will say his price on FanDuel is interesting at 10-3 for him and his performance, not lately, but like this year in general. That is a
Yeah.
pretty good price for him. I'll admit that. But on Darvish and Anderson, I'm with you, man. These are just two teams, Cincinnati and Cleveland. I don't really strike out, and they're swinging the bat pretty well. Neither of these teams I'm trying to pick on. I'm with you there. So
Yep.
let's talk about this 8K. This like the eights here, right? We got like Tanaka, Matz, Porcello, Stroman, Godley, Lackey, Nova, and Bauer. So I just spit a lot of names
Yeah,
at you.
yeah.
So I'm
I
gonna
got it. So
start.
I'm looking at the list. I'm looking at the
All
list.
right, he's looking at the list. So which one of these guys are you interested in playing?
A couple of them interest me. So Nova interests me in the big park against Tampa. He's got great control. He usually doesn't strike out a ton of guys, but Tampa could give any pitcher a boost. And I just expect him to navigate the Tampa Bay lineup and stay away from trouble with some of the big hitters and like do like a typical give up 4 or 5 hits, maybe one earned run, and if you can get like 6 7 strikeouts at 8K, get the win, that's a good performance. So I have interest in Nova. Zach Godley is interesting to me too. I do think St. Louis is heating up, but they do struggle against the righty, and I got to see how they do against Godley's pitching profile. But I think he's going to be interesting to me. And then Rick Porcello is interesting to me. We saw the last game; he finally had a good performance against a tough opponent. And I think he's finally coming around. Like we forget, this guy won the Cy Young last year, and Minnesota hasn't looked good, on the hitting side these first 2 games. And Rick Porcello is like a different view. They've gone against 2 lefties the last 2 days. Now they get Porcello from the right side, and they struggle a little bit more against righties. So I do have a little bit of interest in Porcello here because he has K upside, and they let he can go deep into games. So I have interest there. And then Steve Matz, lastly, although I'm a little upset that he's like priced up so high. Like I thought he'd be cheaper than most of these guys. But we saw him pitch really well against the Dodgers last week. 8 Ks against the Dodgers, 6 innings, only 3 hits. And Steve Matz is a good pitcher, so he's coming off injury, so it's not like a guaranteed. But I remember, liking this kid, using this kid. He was pretty much always dependable, and he has K upside as well. So I do have interest. The Marlins, they really struggle versus lefties, with the exception of Ozuna and Stanton. So you pitch around those guys, or make Stanton wave at a couple curveballs, and there's not much other trouble in that lineup. So I'm interested in Matt here too.
Yeah, of all the guys, the only guys, and now again, Paulie, you know that I typically only do one lineup,
Yep.
and I just put it in multiple contests. So if I had to choose one of these guys in this 8K range, all the guys that we mentioned, the only guy that I would probably consider would be Nova.
Nova.
Yeah, because at least like you said, you mentioned it. He's home. He's got a pitcher's park. He's pitched better at home since he's been in Pittsburgh. He doesn't have elite K upside, but he gets a matchup that does. We know as
Yeah.
good as Tampa is, it's a bigger ballpark, and they're either striking out or hitting home runs. So,
Yeah.
and Nova has looked better at home. So I'm with you there. Um, Godley, you mentioned St. Louis is starting to turn around. I think you're right about that. And then more importantly, Godley's hard contact rate to righties at home has just been
Hmm.
not very good. So I'm a little concerned because St. Louis is heavily right-handed. And to be honest,
Yep.
I think St. Louis can be a sneaky kind of stack because of the fact that they haven't looked so great. And don't
Hmm.
get me wrong, like when Godley's on the road, I'll play him in a certain situation. You know what I mean? So it's
Yep.
like I think St. Louis can actually be. I might be on the other side of Godley there, but
Hmm.
like you said, Matz is interesting.
Yeah,
You know me, man. I'm a Mets fan, and I rode Mets against those Dodgers. You know, left against the Dodgers. That was a terrible pitching slate, so it was like no
yeah,
problem. But
yep,
like Miami's tricky. You're right. It's like a lot of these guys, like Bohr, he's left-handed. Yelich,
yep.
he's left-handed. But then you got Remuto. He usually bats up higher in the order.
No, Real
Um,
Muto actually struggles against lefties. Like check out his stats. He really struggles against lefties. He
it's
likes righties.
it's interesting too because like they only bat him like higher in the order when there's a lefty up.
Yeah, I know. It's like they don't know. It's
Some of
really
these
weird.
coaches, man, you gotta wake up and start looking at these stats. It's like, like
Yep.
seriously. But like you said, Ozuna, Stanton, all these guys. So I don't mind Mats. I don't mind him. But like
Yeah.
like I'm with you though. Like we're just talking about the guys in that tier that we could be interested in, and there's
Yeah.
just like it's tough to really go with any of these guys because they're not quite cheap enough to where you're really getting that super discount. But at the same
Yeah.
time, they're not like super expensive to where like oh yeah because like Strasburg is going to be the expensive build. So it's like it's tough in that range there. You want to go one tier lower? Let's take a look here.
Yeah. Quick note on Nova. Like
Yeah.
he's actually in my dummy lineup right now. He was the guy I liked the most. He's the lowest of that tier we just went to at 8,100. If he gets a really good umpire, and favorable weather, I'll be on him. For sure.
Oh yeah, man. I'm definitely with you there. I like him. I certainly do, and he's cheap enough. 8-1 is cheap. You know, you,
Yeah.
you
That's
you
it.
could you could do something with 8-1. You could really like have fun building a lineup. All right, so okay. Here's a guy in the 8K. Did we talk about Trevor Bauer at all? He's 8K. 8K for Trevor Bauer against the Rangers.
Yeah, I just think the Rangers are too hot.
Right.
Trevor Bauer gives up the long ball when he gets hit. I'm not, and they got too many lefties in that lineup that can just, take this kid deep. I'm not interested in Bauer.
Yeah, yeah. Alex Meyer and Polino.
Not interested in Alex Meyer on the. Actually, I guess they're flip flopping and going home tomorrow. They'll be
All
the
right.
home team.
Oh, is
That's
that right?
interesting.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. You're right. Yeah, Angels are
but
home.
the right-hander, like the Dodgers, they struggle against the slider, and Alex Meyer doesn't throw a slider. So, I know he's been talented and has some upside, and we've used him in other spots. And the Dodgers do strike out, but they're just too hot right now. And I don't want a rookie who has control issues against this team. Walk a few guys, and then anyone in that lineup could take him deep. So
Yeah.
no on Meyer. Paulino's interesting. At 7,500, he pitched really well his last start. It was against the same team. He went 5 innings, three earned runs, six strikeouts, got the win, 31 points. He was cheaper then. Um, you know, he could be interesting, but I don't think so. Actually, probably not for me. But I understand, taking a look at him.
Yeah, I think that like if you're trying to get under 8K as of right now, he's probably the most attractive. At least like on our initial look. If you're
Yeah,
looking to just pay way down at pitcher, he's probably the most attractive guy, right? Paulino at 7.5 for FanDuel.
sure.
But yeah, I like you said though, I don't know if we necessarily have to go there because what is he gonna get you? Strasburg himself is only 10K, so it's like you don't necessarily need that huge of a discount because it's not really gonna make your it's just because you play expensive bats doesn't mean you're gonna have a contrarian build this time,
Yeah,
right?
and there's really not much win upside,
Right.
so probably not.
Yeah, but maybe though, maybe. Well, you know what? We'll see what kind of lineup Oakland puts out tomorrow.
Yep.
All right. So, is there anybody that you're considering as an option here below that I didn't name? We got like Kennedy, Ryu, Blake Snell is coming back. It looks like any of these guys at all.
Um, Perdomo's interesting to me, although the Braves don't really strike out too much. But he's been good this year, and he gets a lot of ground balls in a big stadium. We'll take a look at that lineup as well. And at that price tag, he could be in line for the win. That's not a terrible spot. You kind of always have to consider pitchers in San Diego.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then Bartolo Colon on the other side. I thought he was done. I thought that was the last we saw of him. At 5,800 against this Padres team, I don't think so. But
Yeah.
it's interesting. Like Bartolo Colon's like that like magical wonder that just like continues to do continues to play. He's like 43 years old, and last year he was awesome. So, I don't know. Maybe like a DK SP2, like super flyer, differentiate yourself. He's going against a team that strikes out the most in a big ballpark. It could be interesting, but there's a lot of risk attached to that.
With that said, Paulie, we're gonna flip this over and talk about some of these pitchers we want to stack again. And I'm going to
Okay.
start it off with the same guy that
With
we are talking
Bartolo.
about. We're going to start off with Bartolo Colon, man.
hmm
Yeah, what do you think about what do you think about the Padres, really?
They just their offense is so low in every category. There's just like, like I could see a one off, you might get a home run or two, but I don't see it. Like I tried putting four guys from the Padres in a late slate lineup, and I just couldn't do it. There's just their lineup was ugly tonight, and like I'll just pull it up real quick. The names are just like you tell me if you would stack any of these guys, right? So they went with Margot, who just got off the DL. He's not bad. Corella, Myers, Renfro, and Spangenberg, Ibar, Aswahe, Torrens, and the pitcher.
Well, you know what? That was because they were against a lefty. You know
Okay.
what? There's a guy, Franchi Cordero. He's going to be
Frank
playing.
There. All right.
I
Yeah,
like
I can
him.
understand that.
I don't mind
And Will
Perella.
Myers is always good. You can play Will Myers.
Yeah. Now, I see your point though. It's not going to be fun. It's not. It's not. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, if the Padres end up chalk because everybody just loves to
Oh,
attack Cologne, Padres chalk will not be good. Like you don't want any Padres chalk. So do you
if
think they're
this
going to be popular?
No, I really don't think so. There's just there's no high end pitcher that you need the cheap bats for on this slate. And it's Padres. They don't score enough. They don't hit enough home runs. It's in that park.
Right.
I honestly think that Bartolo might get a little bit of interest. And you know, I, I I don't know.
But
I
why
just
though? Like why would people go there if they don't have to? Like you don't. What's he gonna get you? Is he gonna get you access to a stack that's just like maybe the Yankee stack? I mean, but you don't need to go that low. I
no,
just don't
you
see
really
why
don't.
people would go there. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's just a pass on both sides because
Right.
it's a 13 game slate. There's much better offensive spots. If it was like a 5 or 6 game slate, you
Right.
consider the Padres,
That's a
but
good
not
point.
not
It's like
not
the
too much.
upside, right? Like what's their ceiling as a stack, right?
Yeah, it's not much.
Yeah. All right. So tell me about some of these guys that you want to stack against here.
Jesse Hahn, I want to stack against the
Houston. That's a
Houston
good call.
bats at home. Righties and lefties can hit this guy, and we saw some of the Houston bats come alive today. Springer homer. They had a bunch of hits. They just didn't get a lot of runs.
Right.
So I could be interested in them. I'm interested in Toronto against the lefty Wade Miley.
Oh yeah.
Toronto's been down for a long time. They haven't put together a big day, and this might be the spot that they finally put it together because they just got righties up and down the order. Bautista, Donaldson, Smoke and Kendrys are switch hitters. Like they can go like eight righties against this guy, and it's not going to be a fun day for Miley in that park. Next is oh, go ahead.
No. I was gonna tell you to keep going.
All right. Ian Kennedy's my next guy. He gives up the long ball. He's a fly ball pitcher, and the Tigers are coming alive. We saw Mickey homer today, JD homer today. They're at home, and I don't want any part of Ian Kennedy. I like the Tiger stack. We got Kinsler at the top of the order, healthy, Avila. So I'm interested in the Tigers against him. And Wainwright on the road
Oh yeah.
against Arizona. Arizona's been slumping too, but this is a spot for them to come out of it in that ballpark against Wainwright. I think we saw Wainwright get blown up here a couple weeks ago too, so look for a repeat performance.
Hey man, I always talk about Wainwright on the road, man.
Oh, that's
Listen,
where I got it from.
oh yeah, man, we love it. We love targeting Wainwright on the road. A 382 road WOBA over the last 2 years. 382 for Adam Wainwright. That's an 8.56% differential. That's just crazy. 380 WOBA to lefties, 385 to righties. Now, of course, this is 2 years on the road specifically. Now you're not just putting him on the road, you're now putting him in Chase Field, aka Coors Light, as our good buddy Matt Amon always used to call it. And not to mention his card contact rate. It's not like terrible. 33 to, I think I'm seeing like 33 to .8 to lefties, 30 point. It's not terrible, but His swinging strike rate is about 7.8, so he's not really getting the swings and misses, which means he's pitching to contact. And we know, listen, we know Arizona's struggling, but we also know that when they're on, and they're typically a better home team.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, man. I love that call. I really, really want to attack Wainwright.
Yeah, especially the lefties. Like the
Yeah,
top of the order
Lamb,
stack. You
baby.
see
Let's see
Lamb,
Lamb.
Peralta just homered. He's been heating up.
Yep.
Obviously don't skip Goldie.
Right.
There'll
Don't skip Goldie.
probably be a lefty batting leadoff, whether it's
Uh,
Herman
or
if he's in that
Blanco.
spot,
Oh,
or
Herman. That'd be
Blanco.
great, man. That'd be great
Yeah.
if he was.
Yep.
He'd be chalk, but I don't care.
Yeah, yeah. That's one you just got to eat the chalk
You
on
just
that
gotta
one.
eat the chalk on that one, man. I love that call, man. Anybody else stand out to you as far as like guys you want to pick on?
Those were the four I wrote down, and the Strasburg question mark. So we'll see. Like if we think Strasburg's damaged, a Cubs stack tomorrow could be awesome. It'll be super low owned, and they got tons of power, and they got to want to grab a win in this series. So I think that could be interesting. They got a couple lefty bats that can mash,
Right.
and we've seen worse teams get into Strasburg lately. So that's something to keep your eye on.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great point. What do we think? Any interest in this, like targeting or even possibly playing maybe like Luis Castillo, the 6,500 on FanDuel for the
Uh,
Reds?
I don't know enough about him, but yeah, I definitely, I want some exposure to this stadium, whether it's picking on Anderson or this Castillo guy. I'm definitely not going to pitch Castillo in this stadium against the Brewers, but I got to take a look at, his pitch profile, what he throws, and, if he was a touted prospect or, if he's some guy that's just like a band-aid and, see what he's capable of. But,
Yeah,
what is he, right-handed?
I believe so. Not,
So
I'm not.
righties can do all right against the Brewers. We got to see what kind of pitches he throws versus their hitting profile.
Right.
Ryan Braun's back in that lineup though, which
Oh, is
makes him
he?
a lot more dangerous. Yeah, he played tonight.
Oh, I didn't realize he was back. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had no idea. Um, yeah, man. Trying to think like, uh, nah. I was thinking about maybe Ryu to target against, but the problem is their bullpen is. I don't like targeting pitchers against the Dodgers unless I really have to. Hitters against the Dodgers unless I really have to,
Yeah,
because
it's like it's the same thing as that Padres game. There's not enough
yeah,
upside in that Angels lineup in that ballpark, and Ryu's not terrible.
yeah,
He
no,
gave
no,
A's.
that's true. All right, what about your Yankees?
If you look at the lineup the Yankees put out today, it is not the same lineup we've had, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I mean, it's like a whole bunch of new faces. Jacoby Ellsbury's just coming back from injury. So, they struggled today against the lefty. And we get another lefty tomorrow, Rodon, who's a talented rookie, but he's just coming off injury. I would probably lean towards some Yankee exposure, but I'm not too excited about them. They seem to have kind of hit a little bit of a roadblock, and it's a different lineup than what we had. They kind of like you really just got to get through Judge and Sanchez, and it's not that difficult of a team right now. So I'm not totally that interested in them.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it completely. All right, so let's talk about some guys like maybe like in one-off situations. Is there any guys that like that just forget about the stack, forget about anything, just that one guy just really stands out, whether you want to stack the team or not?
Um, Reddick on Houston really stands out to me. Going against Han, the righty in Houston Park. He's been mashing the ball lately. He's probably going to be batting second. I expect that team to put up a bunch of runs tomorrow. So I like him a lot individually. Kendrys Morales, I wrote down. Another like I like a lot of the Toronto guys, but especially Kendrys Morales. He's got a lot more power from the right side, and actually no, yeah, from the right side tomorrow, and I just expect him batting fourth or fifth to have a ton of RBI spots. Sal Perez against Norris tomorrow in Tiger Stadium, a lefty. He mashes lefties. I like him as a one-off. I like the Red Sox again tomorrow. So Mookie Betts is in a great spot, and I like Bogarts and possibly Benintendi. I like a lot of the Red Sox tomorrow. And I have Jake Lamb, Goldie. We already talked about that stack, but just reiterate, we like Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like my main one-off. Oh, and Miggy Cabrera as well.
Oh yeah. It's interesting. As you were talking about Morales, I keep going back to the stacks because when you mentioned Morales, I was like, "Ooh, but if Russell Martin bats," I was looking at catcher, so I'm like, "Ooh,
Hmm.
but if Russell Martin bats second, and it's gonna be Toronto." Now that I'm thinking, once you mentioned Morales, and I realized Martin, and I'm like, "Oh, they got a lefty and Miley." I'm starting to like Toronto a little bit more with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Donaldson,
right.
Smoke,
Batista, all these guys,
Tovar,
man.
Batista. It's like, that's gonna be hard for Miley. And Miley can, he can get blown up.
Oh yeah, especially on the road.
Yep.
Especially on the road.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be popular. I think they're gonna kind of emerge as chalky tomorrow, but for good reason. And you could probably just grab like the bottom of the order, differentiate yourself, or run with it. Just be over the field, be like 100% all in on them, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, man. But I think Toronto and Arizona are like the ones that are like kind of standing out to me a little bit here.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh man, it's interesting. Like when you look at a slate like this, like we got Strasburg at the top, obviously, but he's not that expensive to where he's gonna cripple you from building lineups. So you could. This is another one of those slates where you can really play whoever you want. Like if you want to pay up a pitcher, you can still pretty much play the stacks you want to play. Maybe you can't play everybody you want to play if you're playing a guy like Strauss, but you could still like you can get close enough to what you want to play if you get creative.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so like what do you think the contrarian build, so to speak, is going to be? You know what I mean?
The contrarian build.
I'm trying to picture it, and it's like, yeah, people maybe they will pay for Strasburg, but after seeing Scherzer only strike out like 6 of them, and combined with the fact that Strasburg's gotten roughed up, like, do you think people aren't paying attention to that, and they're like, nah, I don't care, I'm playing Strauss anyway, or do you think they're gonna actually try to play like you Darvish because he just pitched a great game against the Yankees, not realizing that Cleveland does not strike out a ton, and, and they're red hot,
Yeah,
like
I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. Keep your ear to the shows tomorrow, to all the different sites and touts, and you can kind of get a gist of what's popular. And I really don't know. Like, I had him in both spots, Strasburg, so I don't know. But definitely contrarian build is the Cubs. We already mentioned that, but that's if you think Strasburg's damaged, that's a good contrarian spot.
yeah.
Let's see what else is
And
interesting.
the other thing is too, remember Washington's got a terrible bullpen. So
Yeah,
like if
yeah.
he's out of
You
there in
get
five
past him,
innings,
oh,
yeah,
they could really go off. That's
yeah.
a good point.
So like even though we might think like if you're looking at probability, they probably don't have too much upside against Strasburg. But if they do, their ceiling is going to be super high. If they can rock Strauss, it just gets worse and worse behind him. So it's like it's kind of like not a high probability, but a high ceiling if it does happen. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and it'll be 1% owned.
Oh
So
yeah, oh
you
yeah,
know you'll be flying by all the Strasburg teams.
oh
Which
yeah,
he's got to be 15 to 20% owned, and
oh
then
yeah.
you'll be the only guy with those players. So like every home run, no, you're not jumping with the field, you're jumping over them.
It definitely seems like pretty much everybody's gonna pay way up. Like not that it's that high, but like the more I look at these options, like cause like me and you might like some of these cheaper guys, but like I feel like most of the people they're just not gonna really look past maybe Darvish, maybe Anderson or Tanaka, but like I don't see them looking that far down. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
I agree.
Porcello, maybe Porcello. He's 8'5", and the Twins got shut down 2 nights in a row, so maybe him.
Yeah, it's like you said, you're probably not going to need to go cheaper. So,
Right.
guys are going to make their teams and have, extra money. They're either going to like go pay up for Judge or Harper or just improve their pitcher.
Yeah.
So that being said, that could make Strasburg, more popular.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a very good point. So, what's interesting is because nobody's going to be paying too high at pitcher, some of these cheaper guys are probably going to go overlooked because they're not going to be needed as much.
Yeah,
Whereas like
absolutely.
Chris Young today was popular because people needed him. If you wanted to play
Yep.
Scherzer, you had to play Chris Young. But
Yep.
like today, you wouldn't have to play him. You don't
You
want
know
to.
what? You know what's interesting on slates like this that I like to do, and like some of the days that I've really had, awesome performances, is I kind of go stars and scrubs. So like, to that point where you can kind of get everybody. It's rare that someone will take like Judge, Harper, and say Blackman in the outfield, like three guys from different teams, most expensive, and like super pay up there, and then you need value in like second base and third base to still make that work if you have a good pitcher. So the stars and scrubs approach might be, a good angle tomorrow. You see which value guys you really like, someone that's like a $2,400 second baseman or whatever, and then just pick your favorite bats with a good pitcher and then value at the spots that, you still have open. And it could be an interesting approach because if the value guys go off and the studs do what they're supposed to do, you're in a really good spot.
Yeah, that's definitely a great point. You know what's interesting is if we look at some of these positions, like I say, one thing I like to do is kind of look at the position scarcity. And
Hmm.
like if we go to like say like catcher, right? Like catcher's actually not bad. So like maybe that's not a good example, but like second base is typically a position or shortstop. Shortstop is always like probably one of the weakest positions, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
like
like there's no middle ground usually. It's like Correa,
yeah,
Seager up top, and then like there's nothing in the middle.
yeah, exactly. And like if we have a slate where like there's one position that's like super scarce, there's like maybe one or two guys way at the top, and then that's it. It's all at the bottom. You might as well pay down because
Yeah,
you only need one or two guys to not do so great. And more importantly, your guys can do well too. Like if you get lucky, so it's like you might as well pay down. So it's like it's interesting. I like your point about paying up at the outfield, like just like jamming in, like the stars and scrubs approach. Everybody talks about that for
yeah.
basketball, but nobody, not too many people refer to that in that sense. But it's
In
true.
baseball,
Yeah.
it really it works for me, and it's like it's something that'll be it's always contrarian. No one has that. It doesn't have to be the outfield,
Yeah.
but it's just like it's not a balanced lineup. It's usually not a stack like 4x4. It's like you stack one team like four guys, two cheapies, two of the studs, and then four other studs,
Right.
and it's just very it's very contrarian. And if those studs go off and they you're picking guys that have that upside, sometimes you can just get 6 7 home runs and run away from the field with that.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely. Dude, did you happen to watch any of that like 3-man basketball that they showed?
Is Allen Iverson playing in that?
I heard he was. I didn't see him that day. I watched like I think it was 2 games. I wasn't sure if it was the same game or it was like anyway. I'm not sure, but I was watching it. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about it. It was kind of boring, but kind of cool. Like guys like Jermaine O'Neal. When I watched, he was playing. Jermaine O'Neal
Mhm.
was like smashing. And
Really?
like yeah, and it's like don't get me wrong, like he had a good NBA career, he was a decent player, but like you would have thought like you're just looking at him like why didn't you do any of this when you played in the league? Like it's like you know what I'm saying? Like,
So it's like it's no one that's in the league currently, right? It's
right.
everyone that's like on
Yeah.
the outside. So some
Yeah.
of the old stars that aren't that old and
Yeah,
guys.
exactly. And some of the guys like I've never heard of. I didn't even know they played. Like I would not know that they played in the NBA. I would have not known. Like I can't even tell you some of the guys' names. But it seems interesting. But like watching, it's like 3-on-3. It's half court. So it's almost like looking at your backyard and just watching like a couple old guys play, and it's like, yeah, it's interesting, I guess. But then like, how much could you? And then like, I see sports books are tweeting like, would you guys be interested in betting on this kind of stuff? And it's like, are you
Oh
serious, dude?
yeah,
Like, I'm just like, what?
FanDuel's gonna run it out.
Yeah,
We'll have
it's,
stakes.
yeah, it's gonna
But
be like the
but
arcade
what
mode.
what channel are they broadcasting it on?
I think it was on FS1. I'm not positive, but
Okay.
I think it was FS1. I just
Yeah,
vaguely
I'll
remember.
check it out. What's it called?
3-man or something like
Three
that,
man.
or I think
Okay.
so. I could be
Check it out.
wrong. It's like, but like it was. I know I just got way like talking about basketball out of nowhere, but I wanted to ask you before I forgot, and like I could feel myself starting to forget, and I was like, ask him now. I was like, that's like, don't let it go. I was just curious, man.
Yeah, I haven't caught too much of it, but I did like see a picture of like Allen Iverson playing, and it was like a 3-on-3 game. I'm like, what is that? But I didn't realize it was like a league that's like
Yeah, it's like
it's
Ice Cube,
taken
I
off.
think, and yeah, they're trying to do it, but it's interesting. Did you while we're on the topic of basketball, did you see I don't know if you're a wrestling fan, but did you see LeVar Ball on I guess he was on Monday Night Raw or whatever?
Yeah, I did see that on like Facebook. I saw like the
Yeah,
clip.
me too. That's where I saw it,
That
man.
that kid is a marketing genius. You know, like I think a lot of the things he does is for attention.
Oh
Like, you know,
yeah,
he wants that villain publicity,
yeah,
and you know, it's like kind of like, you know, of the Kardashian like method. Like,
yeah.
you know,
Really.
just put it out there. You're gonna get people that hate you, people that love you, but they're all gonna be watching what you're gonna do next, and you know,
Yeah.
building his brand.
No, I give him, and you know what else? In the beginning, I used to think like, oh, what is he doing? He's putting his kids in bad situations, and he's putting all this pressure on them. And like, while I think he did put some, in some ways, he kind of alleviates different types of pressure off of them because he's taking all the
He's
attention.
taking the attention,
Yeah,
sure.
and he's like,
Yep.
hey, I'm the big dummy, and I don't care. So it's
Yep.
like you almost feel bad for his kids. And
Yeah,
then
you
you
know,
know
it's
what I
just
mean? Like
he
next thing you know,
says,
you're like you're kind of rooting for them, even though he's being like kind of a snob and like, oh, I'm gonna pick the team I play for. Okay, Eli Manning. It's like, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
but
You know, it's like he definitely, you know, like his father's definitely not the ultimate role model, but you know, I guess when you're in that celebrity lifestyle, it's just a different set of
yeah,
rules. You know, they have a different like goal for as a family, and they're really trying to build that baller brand. And you know, they're on wrestling. His kid's second pick overall for the Lakers. Like,
yeah.
what better franchise? So, you know, I guess it's working. He's selling $500
Hey
sneakers.
man, he's doing something right, man.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Was a funny joke I heard. I forgot who said it. It was another one of those shows, but it was like they were talking about him. It was something like Markel Fultz almost signed with Bigger Better brand, and then like they said, and the joke was like, but he didn't because he went to college or something like that. It was like, I thought
Yeah.
that was funny, man. I was dying.
Yep.
All right, man. You wanna play some Dong Watch?
Yeah, sure.
Do this. You want to play the same format we did yesterday? I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
sure. What was it, like National League first or no home team?
Home team. Oh wait, but you know what? I kind of like that better. Let's do that. Let's switch it to that. We'll keep the third column value at 2,500 or less.
Okay.
But for the first two, let's do NL team first, AL team second, and then 25. No snake draft.
All right. So
All right.
NL team first. I'm gonna go with Jake Lamb.
Oh no! Oh my god, I love that dude. No, well, you know what I mean.
Yep.
um. All right. So there. Okay. Not. It's my turn. All right. So an NL guy. I picked the game and I'm not even prepared for it. Give me. Oh man, I really, really had Lamb in my head when I said NL, and now I got to do some thinking here. Oh, he put me on a spot, man, in my own game. All right. Let me get. Are there even any besides the? I don't. All right, I'm gonna go with what's his name? Peralta. There we go.
That's
Give
what
me
I was
some
thinking.
exposure there. Give me
Yep.
some exposure.
Edge
Uh,
exposure.
all right, there we go. All right, AL team.
I'm gonna go with Miguel Cabrera tomorrow against the lefty. I think he's not against Ian Kennedy. I think he's in a no. Who's he against?
Yeah, I think you're right. Isn't Ian Kennedy?
Are they playing the Royals? Yes, against
Yeah,
Ian
Ian
Kennedy.
Kennedy. Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. You're
Miguel
right.
Cabrera. You know, when that guy gets hot, it usually comes in bunches, and you know, he hit one today. I think the streak is coming right now.
Yeah, for sure. I could totally get behind that. I'm going to go with give me Batista against Miley.
Yeah, I like that.
All
I was
right,
thinking Toronto guys too.
maybe give me Batista. I was stuck with him and Donaldson, but yeah, I swear when I take Donaldson, he just doesn't do anything. It's just one of those, like, you
Ever.
know,
I've never done well with
I
Donaldson
don't do
either.
well. Like when I don't take him, it's 60 points, and when I take him, it's like I just can't. I can't figure him out.
Yep.
All right, 2,500 or less. This is where it gets interesting.
All right. Let's see what this guy's price is. I think he's under 25.
Trying to scroll on FanDuel, and it is just not
Yeah,
happening.
it's just like way down there. Um, no.
Down there, it's just not so attractive. Down there, that's just the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Adalberto Mejia is going to be pitching for Minnesota tomorrow, so I'm going to go with Chris Young with another home run tomorrow on the Red
Okay.
Sox.
Okay. I don't mind that at all. I like that.
As long as it's a lefty, Chris Young can hit it out.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think. Ooh. Oh wow, I can't even go with Tyler Anderson. He's 2-6 now. How about that? All right, I gotta scroll a little bit more. I had a guy in my. Oh yeah. What's his name? Margot, I believe is 25. I'm gonna go with Margot. I think he's 2,500. It's
Yeah,
like
he is.
I agree with you that like it's a tough situation. Like I think the best. I think what I might do in the situation. I do want to attack Bartolo. I'm thinking like a mini stack. Like I can see like just a quick like 1-2 him and Myers, or
Hmm.
like him and Cordero if he plays. So like I'm still with you. I'm concerned that like a full stack of the Padres doesn't have the ceiling that we're looking for.
Yeah.
But I do think that they'll be able to get the Cologne because we've seen them hit on rare occasions, but they can have those games. So I'll take a shot at Margot leading off 2,500. Why not, right?
All right, I'm with that.
All right, brother. Well, hey man, it's always a blast having you on, man. As always, great job and your write-ups, man. Keep them up, man. They're fire, man.
Yeah. No, that you know what, dude? I really like this format. It was nice and comfortable. It was a little smaller slate, so it was easier. But
Yeah.
this is a lot more fun and easy instead of having to like race through,
Yeah,
15
man.
games.
That's what we are, man. We work smarter, not harder.
There you go. There you go.
That's WiseTake, man.
Wise, very wise.
Very wise. All right, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, please give us that thumbs up, that like button, subscribe to the channel, and more importantly, tell your friends. We like friends. Tell your friends. And to tell your friends to tell their friends. If you're listening on Podbean, give us a listen. If you're listening on iTunes, the audio-only version, subscribe to that channel. Give us some positive 5-star reviews. Bump us up those iTunes charts. And also, guys, make sure you check the website. We'll follow the Twitter at @wise_take. We're going to be posting some updates with our progress. The website is under construction. You can still go there and take advantage of all the free stuff we have on there. It's not going to be free for too long. So go on there and test it out, try it out as we test it out and try it out as well. And you can catch Paulie D's article, Patio Joe's, Cash Game articles, my articles. We got the WiseTake pitching model up there, and a lot of exciting things. So, make sure you keep checking back. Anyway, for Paulie D and for myself, as always, good luck.
Yeah.